Morning, gang. This is take two. Take one was goofied up by a kooky little Russian blue. How was everyone's morning? Just wondering, I'm not sure where everybody is at that's watching this, but I wasn't sure how your evening was last night. And if you had anything interesting happen from, I'd say, about 3:45 until maybe about 5:15 last night. I know I did. Here where I'm at, for about that long a time, the power went out. And I'll tell you right now, it's not fun. I don't like having the power out. I don't like thunderstorms. There's some days I do like them and some days I don't. But I really nasty storms of any kind I can't, I don't like, because they can get a little, yeah, I'll admit it, I get a little scared of them. I mean, wouldn't you? And I don't like its after effect, being without power for any length of time. And it's funny because today's devotions, there's Goofy Russian Blue again. Today's devotions are all about that very issue, facing the storms of life and learning to trust God to be in control of every aspect of it. It's especially about submitting ourselves to Christ, the one who either calms the storm or calms us, his child, and allowing him to do so. If you read in this passage, this is a really interesting passage. This is where Jesus and his disciples are out on the Sea of Galilee, and all of a sudden a storm comes up. It says how serious the storm was. In verse 24 it says, "There arose a great tempest in the sea, insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves. But he was asleep." They're referring to Jesus. So waves are coming in the boat. Water's filling up the ship that they're in, the boat that they're in. And they're panicked out of their minds. And over in the back somewhere is Jesus fast asleep. They wake him up and they say, "Lord, save us, we perish." There's another area, another passage that says, "Lord, don't you care we're dying? Don't you care that we're in trouble here, we're drowning? Save us, help us." And Jesus' response is so cool. He's not mean or nasty. He says, "Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?" In other words, is your faith that small? Is your faith that lacking? And he, again, like I said, he's not being mean. He's saying, like, if you read in Mark chapter 4, verses 35 till 41, this is another account from Mark. They say, "Carest thou not that we perish?" And of course his response is, "Are you that lacking in faith?" And then of course he goes on here and he says to the sea, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased and there was a great calm. And it says here in verse 39 of Mark, "And he rebuked the wind." So imagine he gets up and rebukes the wind and says to the sea, "Peace, be still." In Matthew he says, "Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm." So he rebuked both, saying, "Peace, be still." And they're all like, "Whoa, what in the world happened here?" And their response is, and I love here in verse 41, as well as verse 27. "What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Even the winds and the sea obey him. That was their response. They're like, "Who is this guy?" And I want to share with you, uh, a lot of you know some of the things that have been going on with us. There's things I haven't been able to go into detail on because legally. Not that we've done anything wrong, no. Those of you that know, Ricky was the victim of a drunk driver in August. And there's been some things that have happened as a result of it. First off, he was unjustly fired from his job, all because he was seeking medical treatment. and also he basically can't work the way he used to anymore. He's now on Social Security disability. Now he is working part-time, only 3 days a week, with Papa John's, doing deliveries. And the Lord's blessed, still, we're struggling, but I believe the Lord's blessing us. I feel like God's gotten us through so much, and I feel like I just have this really weird feeling. I know this may sound strange, but I have this weird feeling that there may be another storm ahead. And I'm choosing to let God be in control. I am choosing to say, Lord, whatever we're about to face, you are my pilot. You guide the ship where you see fit. And when this storm comes, I want to face it with you at my side, knowing that you will bring me through this storm. And while you're bringing me through it, you're going to calm me. You're either going to calm the storm or calm me. And if I have to keep telling myself that every day, I'm telling you, I'm going to. Because I claim that in Jesus' name. And I know that we're facing some uncertainties right now. One of which is the sentencing hearing was postponed. And I'll tell you, that's frustrating, but I know it's in the hands of the Lord. We learned a few things from it. We learned this guy's got a problem and he really needs Christ in his life, bottom line, and he needs help. But we're also learning that even though Satan presents one obstacle in getting justice, God provides another avenue, and I know God's doing that for us. We're asking, especially right now, we can't go into detail, but we're asking especially for prayer when it comes to this issue with Pennsbury, because there are some serious issues that are had with Ricky's being fired. And we believe we have what we need to show to prove that it was unjust. And we also are going after them for another avenue in this realm, and we really need prayer on it. If anybody, I can't go into detail on here, but if you guys want to speak with me privately, I'll tell you. I'm not going to put it on here. I've taken steps on my Facebook page so that nobody from Pennsbury can see my Facebook page, and the same for Ricky's. That's how serious things have been right now, because I don't want them taking anything and slandering us. So I'm very careful who I speak with. But I do know that God is here. He is in the midst of this storm, and He is the one either calming the storm or He's calming Ricky and I. And I firmly believe that right now. I am thankful to the Lord for the medical care that He's getting. We just had a call yesterday evening from somebody representing the pain management specialist he saw, making sure he's getting a special device called a TENS unit, which is pretty cool. This thing is like you stick these patches onto the pain areas and turn this thing on, and it sends nice little massaging little electric volts. It's cool. But we're getting that, and we're getting a few other important things. I'm also asking for prayer. He gave a prescription for Lyrica, and I'm praying that Aetna will come through and approve this. There's some situation there. Lyrica is a very powerful drug. It's a very powerful anti-inflammatory pain reliever, and I had it. I had it when I was first going through all my stuff, and for me, I couldn't take it because it would make me not only drowsy in the morning, but it would give me some really weird dreams. And it has some really weird side effects. But it is a very helpful medication because it's something that affects the nerves. And I know Ricky could really use it. But above all, I'm asking that you please keep us in prayer. Keep him in prayer. This sentencing hearing, if anybody's wondering, is May 26th. And we really greatly covet your prayers. And I also want to say, anybody has a prayer request, anybody has any prayer need, please feel free to post it here. If you have anything to share about, I would urge you to read Matthew 8:23 through 28. Read this passage, in particular verses 23 through 27, about this aspect, this story. And I hope and pray that you will choose to let the Lord pilot your ship and lead you through the uncertainties that you may be facing right now. Let him pilot your boat, and let him bring you through that storm, or face whatever uncertainty you're going through. And most of all, when the storm does hit, allow Christ to calm the storm, as well as calm you. I've got to get going for now. We have a few things that we need to take care, got a few things to do today. Ricky's got to go, of course, out to do with Papa John's. But I urge all of you today to ask God to help you trust him to pilot your boat, to be in charge of every aspect of your life, and to trust that you will always protect us, that he will always protect you in the midst of any storm. You guys have an awesome day today, and remember, let him pilot your boat. Bye.